Hello and welcome to this Bug and Cat Team video where we are finally making a Chrysalis doll. Before we saw the villain suit, I made a doll version of Chrysalis's mental image design, which is a simple design compared to her supervillain suit. I decided to use Purple Tigress as the base doll, as her skin already has a light purple color, and the mask will be covered with butterfly wings. I will change the skin color slightly by brushing it with purple art chalk. I have some white doll's hair to make Chrysalis's cocoon hair, and some gems to decorate the hair. Paint for the mask. I found these butterfly hair clips to be the butterfly wings for the mask. They are a little transparent, like Chrysalis's is in the show. Light and dark purple fabric for the supervillain suit. I will use some shrink art plastic to make the Butterfly Miraculous, a piece of dowel and a bead to make the cane, fabric paints and nail polish to add details, a pair of fashion doll high heels because Chrysalis wears high heels, and these butterfly details to make the shoe decorations. Now if you have been wondering why Zoe is here, I need to amputate her legs. Zoe's feet are designed for high heels, whereas the Miraculous dolls have flat feet and not suitable to be converted for wearing high heels. So I will be doing leg surgery. Let's get started!
Nuru, dark wings rise. Kwami was so perfect. It must be so painful to feel your favorite daughter escape from your grasp. Luckily, I am here.
I start with the legs. I need to chop Zoe's legs above the knees and Purple Tigress at the knees. So this is what Purple Tigress looks like with no lower legs. Now to attach the two pieces, but first I am going to remove the doll's head so I can work on it while the legs dry. I cut the cane down to the right height and I will use epoxy to join the bead and dowel together at the same time I do the legs. I use some hot glue to hold the pieces in the right position. I mix up the epoxy, then mold it around the legs. Chrysalis has a standing job, so she won't need to bend her knees. I also sculpt the top of the cane. I can't quite do the details like the show has. Working on the head, I remove the rest of Purple Tigress's hair and take off the factory paint with acetone. I leave the lips because Chrysalis has purple lips too. Now I give the visible skin sections a dust of purple chalk. You can kind of see the before and after. Now to paint the face. Chrysalis gets a white undercoat, then I paint everything purple as her eyes are purple, and it's just a base coat for the mask. It will get covered by the butterfly wings. I paint back in an undercoat for the iris so the green is bright. Black pupils and eyeliner, then reflections, and I also did the lip details. Are you trusting the process? I chop off the straps of the doll shoes and then coat them in cherry black nail polish, which it was the closest color I already owned. The undersides, I originally painted them with an off purple nail polish, but when I later went to the shops, they had this pink color which matched the design better. I take the butterfly decals and chop it down so it fits the front of the shoes. I add a dot of nail polish and glue the butterflies to the shoes. Chrysalis has really detailed nails, but all I can do is add a little nail polish. I end up changing the color to the same ones I used on the shoes. The cane is dry, so I coat it in nail polish. Not the most accurate to the show color, but it goes with the other colors I'm using. Time to put the head back on so we can do the hair. When I started the hair process, I didn't know how I was going to get the right shape, but then I had the idea to use polymer clay to sculpt the hair shape and then cover it with the hair. She's gonna be top heavy, but that's okay. It's not like her feet can support her. I glue some hair inside the cap and then glue the cap to the head. I add some more hair around the cap. Now I just need to style it. To get the hair to stay in position, I need to glue it to the cap. I need to weigh it down so it doesn't move, and I have to glue each section by section. Are we trusting the process? I still need to add more hair to braid it. This is what I end up with. I will cut it later. On to something easier, the Butterfly Miraculous. I take the shrink plastic over an image of Season 6 design Butterfly Miraculous and use pencils to colour in the Miraculous. Then I need to cut it out. It will shrink down once I put it in the oven. I also decide to make an Ultra Akuma the same way. I found a pattern for a jacket with a peak lapel, and I can alter it to make it more pointy like Chrysalis's. I trace and cut out the pieces. Here are the point lapels, which come together like this. I add some darts to the jacket to make it a bit more fitted. Add on the sleeves and attach the collar. I just need to cut it to the right length later. For the pants, I use the basic superhero suit pattern, but leave the legs extra long as I need to cover Chrysalis's foot. I make the shirt by having the bottom of the shirt seam free, as this is where the butterfly cutout will hopefully go. I also leave the collar long so I don't need to sew it separate. That's all the pieces sewn. The jacket lapels are slightly darker, so I add fabric paint to darken the color. I cut the shirt to the correct shape and lightly mark out the butterfly lines. Then I use a sponge to add a gradient at the collar and make a pattern on the chest. I then add some white paint for electrical circuits. Then paint the bottom section a darker purple. I then add a black paint with purple added to it to paint the butterfly outline. Then I add a few more white dots. Time to add some shape to the jacket. Now it has points. I also need to attempt the Butterfly Miraculous symbol. It might look better when I add some stitches to hold it in place. To make the butterfly mask, I add purple water markers to the butterfly cutouts. They now have more color. They're not quite the right size, so I chop them up into pieces to make the mask shape. The pieces then need the black outline. Finally, after 3 weeks, I have all my pieces, so I can put the doll together. I need to chop off the extra hair, then I can dress the doll. We start with the pants, then the shirt, which I need to sew closed. I also sew up the feet so I can put the shoes on. Then the jacket. I need to add stitches so it holds in the correct position. There is a kind of butterfly shape on the back. I add the gems to the hair. I end up using glue to keep them in position. Hair done. Time for the mask. The hair is so big she doesn't lay flat. I glue the butterfly wings to the mask. I also glue on the Butterfly Miraculous. Then I finish the outline of the mask and some extra details. Then I just need to attach the cane to her back. And finally, Chrysalis is done. Chrysalis has quite the elaborate outfit, which makes for a complicated doll. Do you think I did a good job converting this character into doll form? How the shoes turned out. How the Ultra Akuma and Butterfly Miraculous turned out. Next to her mental image doll. And how she looks next to her base doll, Purple Tigress. Now I have a Chrysalis doll. I need to make a doll of one of the Season 6 akumatized villains, as all my villain dolls are from earlier seasons. That's all for this video. Bug and Cat team out!
I could have done this on my own.
But we're the Cat and Bug team, remember?
Bug and Cat team, you mean?